This idea that every single white person in the country is living a life of luxury and convenience is totally untrue. And according to not just the Hoover Institution, but US Census data and government labor data, this is the greatest statistic to dispel it, which is that a black child raised by a mother and father is more likely to succeed by every independent metric than a white child who is raised by a single mother. Now, I'm not bashing single mothers. I think that they're modern day heroes. The point is that there's two-parent privilege in our country, not white privilege in our country. And if we're serious about rebuilding the black family, which we should be putting fathers back in the home, but be very careful to try to connect disparities necessarily with discrimination.
Charlie on a heated debate on the white privilege and might they college kids. So let's continue with this video.
White privilege is a racist myth that is rooted in bigotry, trying to classify people based on their skin color. If you are a racist, you have something to apologize for. If you're a white person who is not a racist, you have nothing to apologize for. And anyone who makes you apologize just based on the color of your skin, they're the racist and you're not. It's that simple. And so, this idea of our systems are racist also does not stand up against any sort of cross-examination of different ethnic groups in our country. White people, on average, if you were to classify it, and again, I don't like the over-racialization of our country, but if that's where the left wants to lead this, the facts don't even support their entire charge against our country, is that Asian Americans and Indian Americans are far wealthier on average in our country than white Americans. This idea that every single white person in the country is living a life of luxury and convenience is totally untrue. And according to not just the Hoover Institution, but US Census data and government labor data, this is the greatest statistic to dispel it, which is that a black child raised by a mother and father is more likely to succeed by every independent metric than a white child who is raised by a single mother. Now, I'm not bashing single mothers. I think that they're modern day heroes. The point is that there's two-parent privilege in our country, not white privilege in our country. And if we're serious about rebuilding the black family, which we should be putting fathers back in the home, but be very careful to try to connect disparities necessarily with discrimination. And so there's other parts of privilege as well in our country that are non-racial privilege. For example, anyone here the firstborn child? I am. You know that you have an exponentially higher likelihood of succeeding than the second child or the third child or the youngest child? You ever heard of firstborn privilege? Probably not. How about anyone here an only child? You have way higher likelihood of succeeding. Every independent study shows this. Now, we can laugh and chuckle, of course. The point is that there are different inputs at times for why certain disparities are created. And blaming all of it on deep-seated, harbored racial resentment is not just incorrect, it's really corrosive for all of us. Instead of just looking at skin color, look at other circumstantial factors such as education, such as two-parent households. And the argument that the activists will make, and I'm sure someone here will make the argument, is that racism created those systems, right? That it was racist. And I can actually agree with part of that. Just be very specific of what systems those are. And if we're serious about improving the livelihood of our fellow countrymen, maybe we should be less focused on government welfare and more focused on work and literacy education, bringing fathers back into the home.
That's a very interesting one, listening to Charlie debating, the white privilege, might. And then the fact is, it's not every, white person that is racist. Probably you don't have to look at them, and then feels that, oh, because they are white, they are not going to like you because of the color of your skin. I think that you may be very wrong, about it, but then you can only know if somebody, is racist only if you converse with the person and then you hear the person idea or what the person think, about colored, people. Maybe from there you can be able to know if the person, is racist or not. But you can't just sit, on your own and feels that, oh, because this person, is a white person, then it automatically means that this person, is racist. What makes the person, racist? Those are the questions that you should be asking yourself and not generalizing, some of it. And then you, being someone, of a colored or being someone, from Africa, you don't have to say, oh, because I'm African American, so it means that, oh, these white people, they don't like me. Yet some of those things, happening during the 40s, 50s, 60s, and maybe probably 70s. But then right now, things like that, don't happen. Such institutions have abolished, all these systemic, racism. So it's all about, the individual for him to work hard to change the narrative of where he come from or who he is, for him to be able to be a better, person, and not him, or her trying to blame it, on another set of people being the reasons of him not being, successful. And then that's why I see Charlie was saying that in as much as, it's not all of us, that are privileged to have, both our parents. Some people, are being raised, by a single, motherhood. And then that's why he is saying that a single mother who is African American raising a child, the child is bound to be much more successful compared to a white woman who raised a child, by herself. If you look at both, that maybe probably the one African American tends to be much successful. But it doesn't mean that every single mother that raised a child mean that the child is going to be successful, and vice versa to the white, children. So it's all about, the person character, and just like how he was mentioning education too, it's up to the person character. That is what that made up, the person, and what the person, believes, that can be able to like decide, if the person is going to be successful, or not. So it means that you just being white alone does not necessarily means that you are going to succeed, because at the end of the day, all of them, both enjoy, the social security. And even if you go for employment, even though some people feels that some people, are not employed because of their names, but those things, are not true. Those are the systemic, racism we are talking about. They are not true. So you just have, to make sure that you have the qualification. Once you have the right qualification, you would be employed. So these are some of the things that give rise to DEI. People feel that certain number of people, should be employed in order for them to feel, inclusive. But this is not the case, because at the process of it, quality is bound to get compromised, in the process of trying to employ people because of where they come from. It should be based on competence, and if those people, are qualified, and not based on, where they come from or the color of their skin. So if you look at it, sometimes it's people that are having that perception and saying that white people don't like them, whereas this is not the case. Or whereas it's not every, white man who might be like that. And that's why Charlie says that if a white man, think like that, then the person needs to apologize. Likewise, also black people. There are also black people who may not like, white people. You understand? It's vice versa. Don't think that, it's all about, white people. There are black people who don't also like, white people, and maybe probably some people from Asia. You don't know. You understand? Things like that, happen. But nonetheless, all these things, are all debatable. But then I would like to see your thought and opinion at the comment section. If you believe, that systemic racism, does it still happen? Is it still in play? Yes or no? I want to see that at the comment section. And may God bless you as you do so. So you have a wonderful day, and goodbye.